And now, a thought from man. You know, this is the one thing I truly hate about the new year. It's just a total dry season. There's not much going on. It's just straight up dead. There's no new shows really to look forward to until like later on. And you just feel like you're just slogging through until the next month. And so it just pains me that the most I have to talk about is Adult Swim's Hot Streak. I mean, it's not the worst, but at the same time, it's like, Jesus, why are we still doing this, Adult Swim? Like, you have good shows. We know you have good potential to make great stuff, but you still try to settle for mediocre. I don't get it. I truly don't get it. It's just baffling.
You're doing hard time for this.
The series is created by Brian Weissel, who used to be a storyboard editor for Rick and Morty before he moved on and decided to create his own series with this. And for the most part, some of the humor of Rick and Morty kind of show here. Hell, they even got Justin Roiland to come and voice a few characters. But for the most part, it's not as clever or as witty as Rick and Morty. The main premise is about these two FBI agents who solve paranormal crimes, with one of the agents' niece and a talking dog. It's not really a bad idea in terms of the premise. You kinda can easily get into the idea of FBI agents hunting down the paranormal. It's like, okay, that makes sense, that kinda can work, you know, so why couldn't this be good? But here they just make it so weird and stupid that you're just like, what am I watching anymore? Like, a lot of it just feels so unfocused. You just feel like you're just sitting there watching nothing happen, even though a bunch of shit is happening. It's so odd that you can pull that off. And it just falls in line with a lot of the other Adult Swim series in that it's just kind of that random stupid humor, or sort of shocking humor even, just for the sake of being shocking. And you don't really get much out of it. You just feel like, yeah, I'm watching this, but there's not much to gain from it. I just kind of wish Adult Swim would push a little more in terms of effort. The characters themselves, ultimately, they are just kind of the same. They're all very incompetent in doing their jobs and pretty stupid. One of the detectives named Mark Bronsky, he's just very clueless and out of touch with reality. He just seems like he's on a whole nother planet. And his partner Donald French is just as bad. Like, they're both equally stupid characters, and it's just kind of like, you really want us to focus on two idiots? You know, the usual thing is one's an idiot, the other is more competent and outgoing and stuff, but here they just decide both are idiots. I'm like, that's kind of gonna work against you, you know. The more sensible one of all these characters is the niece of Mark Bronsky, Jen Sanders. She sort of seems competent in what she's trying to do, but at the same time, she can make some pretty stupid decisions and mistakes. So you're just thinking, who can I really turn to? Then there's the talking dog, who ultimately it's weird what they're doing with him. He's voiced by Justin Roiland, and he's supposed to be like Scooby-Doo, but you really can't understand anything he's really saying. Granted, they still censor a lot of his cursing whenever he says an F-bomb. But at the same time, it's like, you barely can understand him, man. Like, you'd have to put subtitles up, but they choose not to put subtitles up. So it's like, what is he saying? You watch the series and feel like you want someone to cling to, but it's kind of difficult to cling to anybody here. They're all kind of just stupid idiots just getting by. And I mean, that might be your cup of tea, but at the same time, it's like, you want someone to kind of root for. They're all just so stupid. It's like, can I really root for any of these guys? Can I really? But, they're just not the worst. I've seen worse characters, definitely, but these guys, the most that's harmful about them is that they're just kind of stupid or incompetent. At least that's going for them.
Here's the plan. I'm gonna eat that guy's arm. Then we kill their god. You stay here and fix that helicopter.
Chubby, I'm gonna investigate that temple. You fix the helicopter.
Murder powder?
Murder powder is for doggies who fix helicopters.
The show tends to bank too hard on the surreal. A lot of the stuff that happens in this, it's like, what the fuck is going on? I mean, when you got shit like this. You ultimately don't know what the fuck you're supposed to think of that. It's like, okay, that happened, and I don't know why that happened, but it did, and I can't unsee it. But at the same time, I don't feel like that was the most shocking that could happen, because I've probably seen the most shocking. That's what's weird about this show, is that it's trying to be shocking, but it doesn't really know how to be properly shocking. Like, Drawn Together is shocking. South Park can be shocking. Rick and Morty can be shocking. Here, it's just kinda in that middle ground of shocking. And it's like, how do you do that? How do you find a middle ground for shocking? And what makes it worse is the fact that something like that runs for a little while. They have you focus on it for so long, and it's like, why am I focusing on this? Can we move forward? Can we go somewhere else? Like, this is just stupid. You're not really getting a laugh out of me or any reaction, so there's no reason for us to be focusing so hard on this. Let's move forward. And that's just kind of bad about it. It's that, yeah, see, we're shocking and we're gonna put it in your face. And yet it's like, you're not even the most shocking show out there, man. You're just mundane. You're basic. Like, maybe that's a problem with us, is that we're desensitized by all this crazy shit that you're trying to throw at us. But at the same time, it's like, maybe you gotta up your game. Like, you know, get on our level. You guys are just kind of low-barring. My main real gripe about this is just Adult Swim. They tend to do these cheap shows for the sake of holding us over until the next Venture Brothers season, or the next Rick and Morty season, or the next big popular thing comes along that is a major hit for them. And it's just like, maybe put more of your focus on making actual hit shows instead of just doing all these by the numbers shit that's just supposed to hold us over. Like, come on, make good content. That's all we ask you to do. Just make good content. You could have a majority of good stuff rather than mediocre. And the thing about it is, you guys excelled when it came to cheap. Like Aqua Teen Hunger Force or Brack Show or Space Ghost Coast to Coast, those were all very cheap shows. But they all knew, hey, we can't make it the best looking show, but we damn sure can make it the funniest shit you're ever gonna see. That's something that you guys excelled at back in the day, but now you're just deciding, hey, it's gonna be cheap looking and we're not really gonna put our best material in it. It's just gonna hold you over for a little bit until we get something really good coming along. And like, come on, don't do that. Actually put effort into this. We want it to be funny. We don't care if it looks bad. You know, you can have stuff that doesn't look too good as long as it's really, really funny. I just kind of wish they would put more effort into their shows. You know, that's just something I wish they would do.
Wacky!
I won't lie, this show is a bit of a struggle to get through because you're trying to pay attention to a lot of the weird, crazy shit that happens, but at the same time, it's just so unfocused with this crazy, weird shit that you're just like, what am I watching anymore? You're just kind of staring blankly into it. You're just like, yeah, you know, there's a dog with nipples. He just chopped a black guy's hand off. He's talking to some weird alien chick. Some dudes with skulls burning and shit are talking. You just don't care. You're just like, okay, this is happening, but I don't care. This makes me not give a shit because nothing seems right. Nothing seems focused. Everything just feels like this is happening because this is happening. There's no proper progression to some of these things. It just feels like we're doing this because we want to do this. That's just something that kind of hurts this series a lot. I mean, yeah, you could have stuff that's for the sake of absurdism, but this one tries to sort of have a story going along or a plot, and it tends not to focus properly. It just kind of detours too much, or most of the stuff happening you can't really find yourself invested in because it's like, this just seems so out of nowhere and inconsequential that I have no reason to care. And the animation, for the most part, is not bad, but it's clearly cheaper than most other shows. But at the same time, they kind of put a little more effort into it. Like, for certain scenes, it could be a bit cheap in the movement of the characters or of objects. You know, it's obviously that, okay, cheap animation and all that. But then, when certain actions need to happen, like if a character needs to perform a certain action move, the animation can become pretty fluid. And I don't know, that's kind of unique in that, okay, you do cheap animation for just basic stuff and do more fluent stuff whenever, you know, action needs to happen. And ultimately, I can't be against that. You know, Hell, certain animes do that, and for them to do it, I can't say that's bad. It's just on the lines of kinda jarring, but not too jarring. Just kind of the right amount of jarring, I guess you could say. It just kind of works for itself. I can't really mark that against them.
Whew. It's like nothing happened, right? Oh, who am I kidding?
This show is ultimately mediocre at best. It's not exactly the worst Adult Swim has had to offer, but it's definitely not the best, by no means. It's just kind of that middle ground, middle of the road type of show that they like making because, like I said, their thing is they really need to hold you over until the next big thing. And my remedy for that is just promote the next big thing. Just put more money towards actual good stuff. There's no real reason to half-ass it as much as you do. It's a weird part of you. Like, you make this show and it has potential. I at least give it that, but you tend to ignore the potential that you could have with it. I don't really get it. You can make really good material for this, like really funny humor, but you choose not to. It's like, come on, just put some effort into it. The main thing I see about this is that I don't see it lasting too long. I'm pretty sure this is one season. After that, it's gone. It's gonna be gone because, say, Rick and Morty or Venture Brothers comes back or something else comes along that completely blows us out of the water. So I'm pretty sure this is just gonna be a short-lived series. But that's just a thought.